Hey, what is up guys, how's it going? So I got some inspiration on some videos to do, so here's going to be the part 1 of the part 2 that I'm going to be recording. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is my top 5 favorite things that I love about this car. So coming in at number 1 is I love the design of the car. There's not much, let's be honest, it is an older car, but with that said, that's exactly what I love about it. There's not too much and there's not too little of them, and it's just like, for me it's just the right mixture. I really love the classic look of the E36, and that's exactly what these cars are now. They're classics, and I think that's my top favorite thing about it. And a few modern day like additions to it just make it look that much better, like the side skirt extensions, the rear diffuser, the wheels, all of that adds in and makes the car look so very good. So coming in at number 2 is all the parts for these cars are so cheap. Honestly, I love that about this car. Sure, might break often. I mean, mine doesn't anymore because I've legit went over the whole car. I think I know this car bolt by bolt at this point because I've taken apart the engine, I've taken apart the interior, the undercarriage, all the suspension. Everything has been taken apart on this car by me, so I know this car bolt by bolt. For a performance car that it is, an engine, paying $1,500 for a new S52 engine, to me at least that doesn't seem like too expensive, and for what it is, for what you're getting for that money, I feel like you can't really do any better than that. Things like the differential, drive shaft, axles, transmission, it doesn't really cost too much, and that's what I love because transmissions you can buy what for $300-400, differential same pricing. Now I understand if you're a college kid or something like that, like I am, but for me, I just love to put in work into this car, and for me that pricing really isn't like a big factor, and I'm honestly ready to put that money into a car like this, especially when I'm building it to my perfection, the way that I love it. Now once we start getting into like the upgrades, the coilovers, the building of the engine, stuff like that, sure it might get a little pricey there, but I mean at that point what did you expect, because to build any car it's going to cost money. So that's what I had to do. I had to live with it, and I was just like, whatever, I'm going to turbo this car, I'm going to upgrade it, I'm going to put coilovers on it. So I just made my peace with it, and from then on the build kind of just flowed nicely and easily until I got into more money issues, but whatever. So coming in at number 3 is I love how driver oriented this car is. It really puts you in like a tight position so that you have to sit in the car and you have to have your hands on the wheel, with the exclusion of, you know, the side armrests and whatnot. So I love how driver oriented it is by keeping on the road, by how you feel the road. I feel like it is a track beast, and this car was made for the track. So I'm gonna hold to my opinion because that's truly what I see this car as. Any corners that I might take, any roundabouts, this car will take it and it won't hesitate. Having the perfect alignment and the proper suspension like coilovers or bushings, and once you have those things dialed in, it really does become a driver's car. And if you have one of these cars and you did all those things, then you really know what I'm talking about. Okay, so coming in at number 4, I love the turbo on this car. I love the turbo. I'm so glad and I'm so happy that I went with the turbo and that I upgraded to the turbo, because before out of the factory it was really slow and it wasn't really that fast. So, you know, like let's be honest, it is a 25-year-old car and you can't expect anything more from it from those days, from how the power was. Having a turbo in this thing makes it that much better, because coming in with the number 3 option, with the cornering and all of that and all the balance in the car, plus adding the power to it, it makes it ride so good. It keeps up with all the newer cars. It handles better than most of the newer cars nowadays, and for that, I just can't ask for anything better. Driving in at my lowest setting at 370 wheel, I really can't ask for more on the street, and I really shouldn't be driving it anymore because it's fun enough as it is, and really there isn't anything more that you would need to it. Unless of course you're trying to build it to be like a drag beast and you're trying to have it be like a monster and you're trying to slay all the cars that there are. This car really can do it all once you put the time, effort, and you dial it in. Plus I also love the new noises that come with it. The blow-off valve, the turbo spool, all of it. I don't know how I lived with this car before that. It really does make the driving experience so much better. I find myself opening the window much more often than I would before. Plus having a 3-inch straight pipe, I mean with 2 mufflers, but whatever. Adding that in second gear, those little burbles or pops at the end, it's awesome. I hate those like obnoxious loud pops that the newer cars have, like the new M cars. It's cool, but it gets really irritating and it's just kind of like, dude, stop, you're not a Civic. Okay, so coming in at number 5 is I love that this car appeals to all age groups. I have older people coming up to me talking, oh wow, I remember this car when it first came out. I remember having kids drive it around, or I remember my kids having it, or I remember buying it for my kids. I've had multiple people come up to me and talk to me about that. And I love how there's like 13, 14-year-olds nowadays that come up to me and they're like, wow, that car is so cool. That thing looks like it's a 2015 or something. And I was like, no, it's not. But the fact that it makes other people think that it's like newer and stuff, and like the fact that they still think that it looks good, it just warms my heart every time, and that's what I love about this car. You do have those other people that really aren't into older cars, and you know, they're not really that much into like building cars and stuff like that, and they rather buy it rather than build. And I understand that as well, but other people that love this car, like at car shows or anywhere that I might ever see, I love the attention that it brings me with every single age group. I'm a really nostalgic person, and I love like the 90s, the 80s, all those kind of times, but knowing that I haven't lived in them, but this car really makes me feel like I should have lived in those times when this car was new and when they weren't all messed up and when they were just all coming out of the lot. You take a picture of this car in the right angle, add some grain to it, it looks exactly like a car that should from the 90s, and that's what I love about this car, honestly. It just kind of takes you back to the older times when, you know, everything was nicer. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below what you hate about this car, what you love about this car, or if you agree with my opinions or not, because we all have our own opinions, and I don't know, just let me know what you think about what I thought about this car. But with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.